Did you know that planting certain vegetables side by side could double your harvest? Or that some flowers can actually repel garden pests better than chemicals? The ancient practice of companion planting isn't just folklore. It's backed by science, and it might be the secret weapon your garden needs. For generations, gardeners have known that some plants just thrive when they're planted near each other. Like old friends sharing a pot of tea and a good natter, these plants help each other out, sharing nutrients, offering shade, or even deterring unwanted visitors. It's all about working with nature, you see, about understanding the delicate balance of the garden. Welcome to Don't Do This Guide, your go-to resource for smart gardening tips. If you enjoy fresh and innovative gardening insights, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. Companion planting is the art of growing different plants together for mutual benefit. It's about creating a living tapestry where each plant contributes to the whole. Think of a woodland, a mix of trees, shrubs, flowers, and fungi. Companion planting recreates that natural harmony in our gardens. Some plants, like legumes, enrich the soil for their neighbors. Now, some folks might dismiss companion planting as an old wives' tale, but I assure you there's a solid scientific foundation underpinning these age-old practices. It's not magic, you see, it's science. And understanding a bit of this science can help us become even better gardeners. One of the key principles at play here is something called allelopathy. It's a bit of a mouthful, I know, but it simply refers to the way plants communicate with each other through chemicals released into the soil and air. These chemicals, released by the roots, leaves, flowers, fruits, or seeds of a plant, can influence the growth, development, and even the germination of nearby plants. Some plants release chemicals that inhibit the growth of others, a bit like claiming their territory, while others release chemicals that stimulate growth or even attract beneficial insects. Then there's the fascinating phenomenon of nutrient sharing. Different plants have different nutrient needs, and some plants are particularly good at extracting certain nutrients from the soil. Legumes, for example, have a symbiotic relationship with nitrogen-fixing bacteria that live in their roots. These bacteria convert atmospheric nitrogen into a form usable by plants, enriching the soil and benefiting nearby companions. Let's talk about some favorite companion planting combinations. Tried and true pairings. These are the dynamic duos of the garden. First, tomatoes and basil. Basil repels pests and enhances tomato flavor. Next, carrots and onions. Onions deter carrot flies and carrots repel onion flies. Add French marigolds to deter pests. Now, let's delve a bit deeper into the fascinating world of pest management through companion planting. As gardeners, we know that pests can be the bane of our existence. But before you reach for those chemical sprays, consider enlisting the help of some strategic plant allies. One of my favorite pest-repelling plants is the humble marigold. These cheerful flowers are like the guardians of the garden, releasing compounds into the soil that deter a wide range of harmful nematodes, those microscopic worms that can wreak havoc on plant roots. I like to plant marigolds around the perimeter of my vegetable beds, creating a protective barrier against these pesky critters. And the best part is, they look rather lovely while they're at it, adding a splash of vibrant color to the garden. Another excellent pest-repelling plant is the nasturtium. Now, nasturtiums are a bit of a double agent in the garden. They're known to attract aphids, but this is actually a good thing. You see, nasturtiums are something of a sacrificial lamb, drawing aphids away from your more precious plants. The aphids are attracted to the nasturtiums, and they tend to congregate on these plants, leaving your other crops relatively untouched. Now, let's move on to another fascinating aspect of companion planting, its ability to improve soil health. You see, a healthy garden starts with healthy soil, and companion planting can play a significant role in building and maintaining that soil fertility. One of the key ways companion planting benefits soil health is through nitrogen fixation. As we touched upon earlier, legumes, such as beans, peas, and clover, have a remarkable ability to take nitrogen from the air and convert it into a form usable by plants. This process is made possible by a symbiotic relationship between legumes and nitrogen-fixing bacteria that live in their roots. These bacteria form nodules on the roots of legumes, and within these nodules, the magic of nitrogen fixation takes place. When you plant legumes in your garden, either as a main crop or as a cover crop, you're essentially adding nitrogen to the soil, making it more fertile for other plants. It's like having your own natural fertilizer factory right there in your backyard. Another way companion planting benefits soil health is by improving soil structure. Different plants have different root systems, and planting a diversity of plants together can help create a more open and well-aerated soil structure. Now, for those of us gardening in smaller spaces, companion planting offers a fantastic way to maximize our yields and make the most of every square inch. It's about thinking vertically, horizontally, and creatively, using all the space available, just as nature does. One of the most effective space-saving techniques is vertical gardening. By growing vining or climbing plants alongside sturdy companions, we can create a living tapestry that reaches for the sky, making the most of vertical space. Think of beans climbing up corn stalks or cucumbers sprawling over a trellis alongside tomatoes. These partnerships not only save space, but also provide mutual support, with the taller plants acting as natural stakes for their climbing companions. Another space-saving strategy is intercropping, which simply means planting fast-growing crops between slower-growing ones. This allows you to harvest the faster-growing crops before the slower-growing ones need the space. Now, companion planting, while incredibly rewarding, isn't without its potential pitfalls. Just like any gardening technique, it requires a bit of know-how and a touch of common sense to avoid common mistakes that can hinder your garden's success. One of the most common mistakes is planting incompatible species together. While some plants thrive in each other's company, others, well, they simply don't get along. It's a bit like inviting two guests who can't stand each other to a dinner party. A recipe for disaster. For instance, planting potatoes and tomatoes together is a big no-no. Both plants belong to the same family, Solanaceae, and they're susceptible to the same diseases, such as blight. Planting them together increases the risk of disease spreading rapidly through your entire crop. Another common mistake is not considering plant spacing. Even the most compatible plant companions need their space to thrive. Overcrowding your plants can lead to competition for resources, such as light, water, and nutrients, resulting in stunted growth and reduced yields. Remember, each plant has its own growth habit and space requirements. Now that we've covered the fundamentals of companion planting, let's talk about putting this knowledge into practice with some simple companion planting plans for beginners. Don't be daunted if you're new to this. Start small, experiment, and most importantly, have fun. One of the easiest ways to get started is by creating a Three Sisters garden. This traditional Native American planting method combines corn, beans, and squash in a mutually beneficial trio. The corn provides support for the beans to climb, the beans fix nitrogen in the soil, and the squash, with its large leaves, acts as a living mulch, suppressing weeds and retaining moisture. Another simple plan is to create a pizza garden, a fun and rewarding project for gardeners of all ages. This themed garden combines all the essential ingredients for a delicious pizza, including tomatoes, basil, oregano, peppers, and onions. Plant the tomatoes in the center, surrounded by a ring of basil, then add oregano, peppers, and onions around the edges. This arrangement not only looks attractive, but also maximizes space and provides natural pest control. For a fragrant and functional herb garden, consider planting a salad bowl combination. This mix includes a variety of herbs that can be easily harvested to create delicious salads, such as lettuce, spinach, chives, parsley, and dill. There you have it. Companion planting isn't just an old gardener's tale. It's a practical approach that can transform your garden's health, productivity, and beauty with minimal effort. It's about understanding that the garden is a living, breathing community, a place of intricate relationships and delicate balances. By embracing the wisdom of companion planting, we tap into these natural synergies, creating a garden that works in harmony with nature rather than against it. And that, to me, is the essence of good gardening. If you found value in today's guide, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share your companion planting experiences in the comments below. Until next time, remember, sometimes the best gardening solutions are the ones that work with nature, not against it.